MR-1 today. I've been working on a part and I have failed like 6 times so far. So it's been different spots along the way. This part is basically a test part for a company, and if it's good, then that's really good for BECK'S tools. If it's bad, well, then that sucks for BECK'S tools. So I have been out here every night this week. I've been sleeping like 4.5 hours a night. And some of the fatigue could be causing me to mess up this part, but I decided I'm gonna do an uncut, because I do a lot of time-lapse footage of the MR-1 machining parts, and that doesn't really show you what it can do. So this video, uncut, live, no time-lapse, no editing. I'm just gonna run this thing, and I'm gonna have the doors open and make a big old mess, so that way you guys can see in there and see what the MR-1 can do. And then I'm also gonna explain what it can't do. Because this process has really, really opened my eyes as to what it can't do. And I'm trying to make this part, which this part is designed for people like me with machines like this. This part is designed to eliminate us from this type of competition, right? And that's why they say, can you make this part? If you can make this part, you can be a supplier of ours. If you can't make this part, see ya. So I was pretty confident, and I was like, I realize I don't have, you know, this level machine, but I think I can pull it off with this level machine. And I wasn't, to be honest, I wasn't prepared. I didn't realize as soon as I signed up that I was gonna have to make the part like right now. And I looked around, I didn't really have the tooling that I needed. I needed some different end mills, some reamers, and I can't get that stuff in time. I have to ship, I've got 2 days to ship this part. Which is part of the application process. If you can't have fast turnarounds, well, that also eliminates you. So I just hope I don't get blackballed from the system. I hope I have a chance to reapply in a year or so when I have a better machine. But for now, we're gonna run this part. So let's go. I'll bring you closer here. Hope I don't crash. Woohoo! That's a big cut. That was 50 thousandths, 1.5 inches deep at 100 inches a minute. Yeah, it's making a mess. I wonder if I can change the angle a little bit. Now I can close one door, and with one door closed, I don't make as big of a mess. Okay, I've already messed up. It's not cleaning the part up, so this is junk. All right, guys, you just got to watch me fail live on YouTube. The part, it didn't clean the one side up. So I have to cut a new piece, which kind of sucks. So we're gonna make this try number 8. Now this one's totally my fault, but nonetheless, it's not any harder to deal with because I mean, it's $10 of material, and I just flush it down the toilet. So, apologize for the air compressor. I'm running a mist coolant, so that's just going to kick on from time to time. I got the mic, so hopefully that will still pick me up despite a whole bunch of background noise. If you can't hear the audio, let me know. The idea here with this camera or this microphone is, even if I'm not facing the camera, hopefully you can still hear what I'm saying. Because normally when I turn around with the air compressor running, or if I walk away from the camera, the audio dies. So let me fix the camera here, since it's going to be a little bit before I get the machine running again. So that sucks. It cleaned this side up, but I didn't. My piece is just slightly undersized, and maybe, I don't know, because see how much it took off this side? I mean, that's a big cut. And then this side, it took off nothing. And I had my XY set the last time I ran the machine. But it's been just sitting here, and I don't know if the last time it ran, it lost some steps on the stepper motor. So my zero's different. That's one limitation with the MR-1. It doesn't remember, like if it misses, if the computer says, hey, stepper motor, go 5,000 steps in the positive direction, and it only goes 4,000, the computer doesn't know. There's no record that it didn't go to where the computer told it to go to. That's the limitation of stepper motors, right? So the very last operation is a 10-hour profiling, where it just goes back and forth for 10 hours. At some point in that 10 hours, it probably missed a step. Now my zero isn't zero. And so I put this part in here to try to run it again, and it hogs one side and it doesn't touch the other side because zero is no longer zero. So now, knowing that, I should basically do due diligence to reset zero every single time, but you would think, oh wow, that's super easy to do. Well, this part is plus or minus 1, right? So I get my edge finder and I edge find it, and I don't know. I think I need a new edge finder. It used to be on, and I don't know if it's gummed up, but my edge finder, it's been, I don't know. I really wish I had, you know, a Renshaw probe that would touch off and it'd be within tenths. That would be very optimal. But I don't, and because this part has so many setups, and I'm constantly have to like set it up and then re-pick zero. By the time you get to the very end, holding plus or minus 1 or less is a challenge, because every time you set it up is one more chance that you miss a thousandth here, a thousandth there, a thousandth there. Now you're 3,000ths off, and then the thousandth there. Now you're 4,000ths off. Next setup, another 1,000th. It all adds up, and by the time you get done with the part, it's beautiful, looks wonderful, but it's just not what you're trying to do. So let's cut another piece. This is going to be a long live video, and I am going to upload this after I finish. So if you can't, you know, stick around all day today, that's fine. You can come back and watch this in bits and pieces, because I'm going to repost it. Let me go. We got to cut another piece. I'm going to grab a caliper. Can you guys hear the audio? Let me see if I can turn on comments. Where are the comments? Comments, I think are right there. Top chat, no, I want all chat. Super chat, hide all chat. No. All messages visible. Oh, thanks for the feedback. You can hear me fine. All right, so I'm gonna cut another piece. Man, here's the thing. This piece right here, this used to be 4 feet long, and it cost me $117. You can see how much material I've burnt through, and I have still not been successful. So this has been extremely humbling experience, extremely stress-filled experience. I don't know that I felt this defeated in a long time. To basically come out here every day and just fail and fail and fail again, and money's just burning. I in order to do this project, I had to buy. I forget what I paid for these. I think it's like $100 or over 100, and then material $100. I was able to get a couple tools ordered that got here in time, another couple $100. I bought a thread gauge, $70. So I'm like hundreds of dollars into this project, and it's looking like I may fail. And I've been capturing the footage along the way. I'm debating on whether I make a video about how I failed at this. Those aren't the most fun videos to make, but the process of making it is even less fun because you just fail over and over and over. But here's the thing. Nobody gets anywhere without some failure. And if I were somebody who gives up, I wouldn't be this far. So, moral of the story is, there's no chance that I'm giving up. There's a high chance that I'm probably going to fail. But one thing I'm not going to do is stop trying. So, 3.59, it's 90 thousandths. Should I make it more? I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to make this more. I'm just going to turn it down so I'm not hogging. That way, if I take a massive cut on the first round, it's fine. And you know what? That was a roughing pass. I do come back and I finish. So maybe it would have cleaned up, but I don't want to wait 10 minutes to find out it's not going to clean up. Time is money. Sometimes you got to cut your losses and cut a new piece of material and keep on going. What are you guys doing this weekend? Anybody doing anything fun? 3.67. So this is definitely oversized. I'm going to turn it down on that first roughing pass just to make sure I don't, rip this out of the vise. I do still have this. Not the same thing I simplified it. And, Mark closed down his website, all that stuff. So I wanted to keep on selling. I didn't feel right calling it Langmuir Systems. He wasn't a big part of it. So I kind of undid like the cool, one-sided pivot like he originally had, and I just went for a traditional disc sander. I don't know, because the BA Langmuir sander, that was something that he and I had. It's not going to be like he and I thing that it's just not going to be, So, but I still want to sell disc sanders. I mean, my whole company is built around selling writers and disc sanders and that kind of stuff, writers. So I kind of have to have this thing that has a product line. So I simplified it, and in that process, it actually, the new one is way beefier. I mean, it's a brick house. It is really probably twice as beefy and half as many parts. So it's bittersweet, right? I spend most of my time in the shop looking for computers. You guys are that way, but oh, I lost my mic, guys. I've been talking this whole time. Okay. That thanks. I should have checked sooner. All right. Sorry about that. Hopefully that fell off when I was cutting. Yes, when I was running the saw. I want to just keep the chat up so I don't have to click on it. Like, stay up at the bottom of the screen, chat. Pin to live stream. What is this? Is that pinning the chat to live stream? Tag a product? No, I don't have time to tag a product. There we go. Now I can just keep the chat on the side. Yeah, because otherwise, how long ago was that? 1 p.m.? I don't know what time it is now. All right. So mic is back on. I try to pay attention to that. Let's get this part clamped in here. I really like this torque wrench. Basically, you can hear there probably. The beeps get more intense, and then once you hit the torque, it goes solid. And with this type of a vise, this is the Solder Machine Works vise. It's torque based, right? So you need a torque wrench if you're going to run the Solder Machine Works setup. Okay, so I'm just going to hit go again, and this time I am going to reset the camera so you guys can see, and I'm going to turn it down at first because I made this piece of stock extra big, and I don't want to rip it out of the vise. So I'm going to turn it down as far as the feed rate for the first time around. So that way, I'm going to turn it about 50. I'm going to go 50%. Or maybe less, 40%. That's still a pretty heavy cut. Okay, if it doesn't clean up on the other side, I'm going to be beyond upset. All right, I'm going to speed it back up till it gets to the other side. Okay. Oh. So I'm taking 4,000 per revolution per tooth. 4 thousandths per tooth. All right, turn it down. I turned it down because I don't know how much material it's going to be hogging right now. Okay, now I can turn it back up. So now that's full, what, 1.5 inch depth of cut. I have a 1/2 inch end mill. I'm running 8,000 RPMs. The really cool part is when it hogs out the pocket in the middle. I'm going to go, while that's doing this thing, I'm I'm gonna come over here and I'm gonna grab a part that was almost completely finished. All right. So this is basically what I'm making. This is one of them that failed. But when it hogs this part out in the roughing pass, it's pretty impressive, especially with that big, huge end mill. There's a chance that I might download this video after I post the full uncut live and just pull out the machining part. But the whole point, I don't know. The whole point is so that way you can watch the machine do its thing uncut. And I know I jibber-jabbered a lot at the beginning to like explain everything, but it's a video. I mean, you can always just skip forward. Maybe I can put some like bookmarks or something in a video to show you, hey, this is the machining part. This is me jibber-jabbering. This is me failing. So these cuts are 30 thousandths deep. Yeah. What did I say earlier? Did I say 50 thousandths? So the 30 thou deep, full depth of cut, 100 inches a minute. The 3 flute, half-inch end mill with 2 inches depth of cut on the flute. All right, it's about to get fun. I'm going to adjust the coolant for this part. All right, turned up the coolant, getting my phone all wet. When it gets to the bottom of this hole, it just takes off to the races. I really need to find some safety glasses, but I don't know where they are right now. You can hear a little bit of chip recutting because it's not getting all the chips out of that hole. There she goes. I can feel the floor shaking, just, since you can't feel it in the video, but the concrete is shaking right now. This thing is getting after it. So the machine is very capable at some things, but high precision, repeatable parts, like you're not going to make aerospace parts on this machine. You're just not. Can you make a one-off with enough time? Yes, absolutely. Can you compete against guys with $100,000 machines? They're going to run circles around you. I mean, they're going to eat your lunch. But look at this. Literally, I can feel this in the concrete right now. So that's the most fun part of this. This part here specifically is that operation. I'm getting a phone call. Is the live video still going? Blow my phone up. Hopefully that wasn't too loud. I think it wouldn't matter. So, still roughing. I'm gonna turn the coolant down now that most of the heavy cuts are done with. When it's doing that heavy cutting down in the pocket and chips are loading, that's when I really got to turn up the coolant. If I ran this a little more conservative, I might not need coolant at all. And then, you know, the video would be cooler, but this mister does make a lot of fog. So I know Stupid Simple Tools advertises this as, you know, a missing system that doesn't fog your shop up. I would say that's a bit of an exaggeration. It's creating a mist, and unless you trap the mist inside the machine, it's going to fill up your shop. But it does help evacuate chips. And the problem is, at some point I cut the back side of this part, and I don't have coolant from every angle. So it's another thing. The machine comes with a single coolant nozzle. You can get a bunch of splitters and try to mount them all over the place. But I don't have time for that right now. Hey guys, if you're watching this video, either live or in the future, give me a thumbs up down below. That would be super helpful. It just tells YouTube, the algorithm, that they should share it. And believe it or not, I do this for views, because that's a big part of how I advertise. And so it's a give and take. My goal is to bring value, right? If I don't bring any value, there's zero reason for anybody to watch this stuff. And the value I'm trying to bring here is showing people what the MR1 can do. Because this is not it's a cheap machine, but it's still thousands of dollars. I mean, you may be able to buy the machine for $9,000, but you're going to have thousands of dollars in tooling. You're going to have thousands of dollars in vices, and like by the time you have enough tooling and vices and measuring equipment to just run parts all the time, you're going to be anywhere from $10,000 to $15,000 into this machine. Okay, and on top of that, you have to build it. Everybody asks me, how accurate is the MR1? That's completely based on how skilled you are, because you are the one that builds this machine. So if you suck at building machines and putting things together, well, the machine's going to suck. So if you want to know how good the machine is, it's as good as you. So when I tell you this machine's failing, I'm failing, right? Because I'm the one who calibrated the stepper motors. I'm the one who built it, who trammed it in, all that. So Langmuir can do the best that they can, but at the end of the day, each one of us builds our own machine. So a Langmuir MR1 is not the same. There are no two MR1s that are the same. So if you see one of these used, I don't know. Unless you know that guy and he shows you a part that was made and he can, you know, get the calipers out and the mics out and show you how accurate it is, I wouldn't buy anybody else's MR1. I would build it myself, and that's it. Unless you have a super skilled buddy. Yeah, this isn't a machine I would buy used. New or nothing. All right, at this point, it's going to come back in and make the finishing pass. This pass is the opposite of the roughing pass, right? It's just really slow. I'm taking one thou per tooth. Now I am going full depth of cut because I want a really beautiful finish, and I don't want to see individual lines from like when it drops down ½ inch, drops down 1 inch, drops down 1.5 inches. I don't want to see those lines. I want one smooth face. So I'm going to go around the perimeter real slow with high RPMs. And now after I finish, I'm going to do a spring pass. So if the tool deflected at all, this next pass is going to let it clean up. So now it's the second pass. The fact that it's cutting at all means there was the slightest bit of deflection. It's barely cutting. I mean, those chips right now are like hairs, right? But this is how you get high precision. You got to take spring passes. You know, you have to repeat your finishing pass. All right, this operation is basically about done. So the point of this video was the roughing pass. I'm going to be here all day long. I don't know that I'm going to keep the camera rolling all day long. I'm probably going to shut it down at this point. Let me quick get over here. Man, my tripod is soaked. You see, I'll take a little bit of time here to answer any questions. If anybody has any questions, let me here pop up the chat. If you have any questions before I hop off about this process, leave them in the comments right now. Okay, so let's see what we got. BDKJ3E. That's why I made some videos on some of the mistakes I made building my Crossfire, so it would hopefully help someone make their machine better. 100% agree. And that's why I'll make a lot of these videos, because I had to learn all of this stuff the hard way, right? The amount of tools. I have a box of shame, I call it. Let's go look at the box of shame, guys. I keep these around to make sure that I stay humble. So someday when I'm, making killer parts, I can remember the days when I broke hundreds of dollars of tools. I mean, look at this. This tool right here, Carbide, McMaster, it's coated. This is a $115 tool plus $10 shipping. And look at that, destroyed. Really nice aluminum cutter. What's wrong with this one? Hey, this is just worn out. I'd say this is a victory. See, I'm already getting a big head. While I look at my box of shame, I'm getting a big head. This is why I keep this kind of stuff, guys, because I have a tendency to think highly of myself. Now there, look at that. This one, I didn't have the part clamped tight enough. It was late at night, and I was getting really fatigued and tired, and I didn't clamp. I didn't have the torque wrench back then, and the part pulled out of the vise, and it just, it ruined the part. This one here, this is a extra long tap, which these are really expensive, and I ran it in, and the hole was deeper than the flutes, and had an idiot moment, and it just snapped off. Scrapped the part. The part had already been on the machine for super long time. I was trying to make a 9-inch sanding disc, so that was expensive. All of these are very expensive screw ups. Like I said, this box right here, probably about $500 of broken tools. So that's something you're not going to be told when you're like, hey, I want to buy an MR-1. Yeah. Can you stomach that? I call mine the box of pain because my wallet feels that pain every time I break at something. I agree. I 100% agree. The box of pain, the box of shame. It's important to stay grounded. Because when you have those highs, you just feel like $1 million. I'm gonna feel good if I'm successful at. I guess I'll just tell you, it's Xometry. So you guys may have heard of Xometry. It's basically a job board for CNC machinists and companies. If you get accepted as a supplier, you can go on there and they throw out jobs, and you have these ratings, right? When you first get accepted, you're like entry level, and they have to send everything to Xometry. They inspect it, and then they ship it to your customer. After a couple successful, of those interactions, then you're allowed to ship directly to the customer. And so that's the process. And then after you have done like a certain number of jobs, you graduate to a higher level, and then you have access to additional jobs, and then you continue to get higher, higher, and higher. And eventually, you know, they'll let you make aerospace parts that have like really big profits. But you start out slugging it out in the ditch, basically, with parts that don't make a lot of money. So a lot of guys are like, well, it's not worth it. You know, all I get is these parts that, you know, I spend all this time on and I don't make any money. And I don't care what I make per hour, guys. You know what I need? I need enough money to buy the next machine. That's it. And however many hours I have to work to get the next step up of the machine, which I've been talking to Sile and Tormach. I'm trying to figure out which one of those I want. Exactly, homework for adults. So, I mean, basically, you know, I come home my nights and weekends and I put in time and I try to save as much money as I can from the products that I sell. And I'm just trying to build a business. And a part of that is selling. And so I try to do YouTube as a mutually beneficial type of thing, right? Where we all win. So, you know, I invest money in like Amazon products because I have to buy them anyways. I just uploaded a video of an arbor press, right? So I had to buy that press. No, there's no way around it, right? I needed it for pressing bearings into wheels. So I have that press. Why not make a video and say, hey guys, here's the press. Here's what I think of it. Now you don't have to risk your $270. If I point something out and you're like, it's a deal breaker, I just saved you $270. So, and then the trade-off is you watch the video, you thumbs up it, maybe share it with a buddy who also needs an arbor press, and then that gets the word out about BECK tools, and then, you know, it's kind of like the circle of sales, you know, we all benefit. So that's kind of the story. Let me quick check the chat here before I shut this down. Make sure I didn't mix anything. The oopsie box, yeah, definitely. I think I covered them all. Anyways, guys, thanks for taking time out of your Saturday to hang with me and watch this process. Say a prayer. I'm gonna cross my fingers. There's a chance that the deadline comes and I don't have a shippable part. At that point, I'm gonna call them and explain it. I'm just gonna say, hey, I'm gonna be transparent, open and honest. I'm gonna say, you know, I didn't understand when I signed up that the clock was gonna start ticking instantly. I thought I was gonna like sign up, create an account, see what this all is. I wasn't really sure what I was getting into. And then as while I was signing up, it said you got this many days to deliver this part. And I was like, oh no. So I got material as quick as I could. I got the tooling as much as I could, but I couldn't get all the tooling I needed. I hadn't had time to like really fine tune my machine to run plus or minus half a thou. So I had to spend hours and hours and hours doing that. And then it's just been little mistakes here and there. And so I don't know, maybe it's not meant to be right now. Someday when I get a Sile X7 or a Tormach 1500 MX or a Haas mini mill, those are the three in the running. I think all of those machines should be able to make this part fairly easy. I mean, I was watching Titans of CNC. He ran Monel on a Sile X7. So that really, I mean, I don't see anybody running Monel. And I mean, he said right on there, don't do this. It's kind of like, watch me do it, because it's probably really hard on the spindle bearings. And so I'm not going to be doing that. I'm going to run aluminum and steel, you know. And if I spend that much money, I'm probably going to, you know, play it safe. The MR-1 has had like a decent number of breakdowns, but the guys on the tech support have been 100%. Like, they get me parts like bam, bam, bam. If anything breaks, I just email Jake and I'm like, Jake, I got a bad stepper motor, and he sends me a new one like right away. When my some of the stuff I bought too, like I bought the upgrade for the probe and the tool setter, or was it just the probe? I bought the upgrade for the probe, and then I bought the upgraded waterproof limit switches. But anyways, I'm just rambling. It's been 40 minutes. I'm gonna head out. Thanks, guys. I'll see you later.